We're here back at the Cutting Room Podcast, here live at Unapologetic Pro Corazon Espinado here in San Diego, California. And I have none other than, from the hills of Woodland, one half of the Wolf Zaddies, Latino meat, Che Cabrera. Che, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just here in San Diego, living it up.
Seen you a couple times live, and I like to go back a little bit before your wrestling. Your cousin was the one that got you into pro wrestling, correct?
Yes, I grew up. My cousin pretty much showed me wrestling. I still remember one of the specific things that I saw growing up was when Ultimate Warrior was throwing up because Papa Shango cursed him. But yeah, ever since then, I just never stopped watching it.
Was it the same cousin? His dad was the uncle that almost got you into the Air Force?
No, different family. My Air Force uncle is my mom's side. My cousin was from my dad's side.
That's a pretty impactful moment in your life because you're choosing to either chase a dream in pro wrestling or kind of go into the Air Force. What advice do you have for people at a crossroads in their life to choose to chase their dreams?
I mean, I was pretty much looking into the Air Force only because I really felt like I had nothing to do, nowhere to go out of high school, I tried college, criminal justice. It was boring to me. And then when I stayed with my uncle, who was a Marine, I got homesick living literally not even 2 hours away from my house. So I could only imagine if I got shipped out to North Carolina or whatever like that, I would have hated it. I would have been miserable. So he did help me get in shape. And then I just said to myself, like, you know, I got to look into this wrestling thing a little bit more deeper. Obviously, it was a little harder, you know, before social media where you have access to pretty much everything now. But I remember I was always getting flyered when I went to go see SmackDown or Raw at the Staples Center from Santino Bros. And then once I knew where Bell Gardens was and like I was working out in that area occasionally, you know, I gave it a shot because they had a beginner's course coming up. And then I remember June 2011 was when I took that beginner's course. And where are we now? 2026, yeah, here we are now.
And thank you, Luchasaurus, correct?
That's right. Luchasaurus I met at Powerhouse Gym in Chatsworth, California. He was actually training with Rick Drayson out in Sherman Oaks, but I didn't know who that was at that time. But then when he had a show in Newhall, he invited me, and that's when I saw Chaos live in person. And I grew up watching Chaos on XPW. But I saw everybody there. I saw Rico. I saw Tito Escondido hitting a 450. And a dude for his size hitting that was impressive to me. And that's when I was like, I got to go. I got to go to Santino Bros.
Favorite XPW moment?
Oh, I mean, looking back, I just remember being home Saturday nights, watching it on some one of them local LA public access channels. Just anything with the Enterprise, anything with Chaos involved. You know, he was always wrestling with his title on and like hitting moves that I had never seen before or that I have seen. You know, hitting the blockbuster, the froggy from up top, the leg drop. I was a Chaos mark, you know, and I have no shame to admit it.
Did you ever catch the XPW episode of Dark Side of the Ring?
Yes, of course I did. Of course I did.
What did you think about it?
I mean, it was good, you know. It was some dark times back in the day, you know, some crazy stuff, involvement, you know, wrestling and like the porn industry, you know, who knew, you know, that those would be so together. I mean, I found out later that it kind of goes hand in hand, but back in the day, it was really hand in hand.
One of my favorite moments of that episode was when Chaos was talking about the time that they showed up to the ECW show.
Yes.
And they went really hard representing, like throwing up the X sign and everything.
I remember that. I always give Chaos shit for that because he had those little, you know, boy band glasses on, you know, from back in the day, you know, early 2000s, those were in, you know, and I remember him throwing that up, facing hard cam and stuff like that. Wild moment for sure. But, you know, there's so many sides to that story too, where the ECW guys say that they beat them up and threw them out, but in reality, no one got hit, nothing happened.
We're pretty spoiled as pro wrestling fans, and I got to ask you the number one question. Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression?
I appreciate Ruthless Aggression more now, but I grew up on Attitude Era. Because Ruthless Aggression, you still had a bunch of, you know, random dudes, you know, like that just, you know, were huge, big part big guys or whatever that, they were still in that era. But then once Eddie took over, Edge, the Edge and Eddie matches were some of my favorites when I look back now. But other than that, for sure, Attitude Era. Wrestling wise, Ruthless Aggression Era, for sure.
Some of my favorite moments have been with Kurt Angle. I think he was probably one of the number one wrestlers in that time that really held that era. But you grew up a Shawn Michaels fan.
I grew up Shawn Michaels fan. He's still till this day my favorite. He's the reason why, I pursued wrestling in a sense. I remember watching the Iron Man match. And that's the match that really, I didn't get it at the time, 60 minutes, whatever, but now I look back at it, I was like, damn, that's crazy, and pretty much HBK is the reason why I'm a Heartbreak Kid myself,
We talk Heartbreak Kid, we talk the Iron Man match. That means I have to present you a gift. I usually do this to some of the guests. You're a figure collector, are you
Yes,
not?
I am. Yes, I am.
These are Bret Hart figures from my personal collection. I don't know if you have these, but these are some classic ones.
Oh, wow. These are the WCW ones, huh?
One's the WCW one, and the other one's probably the WWF era.
Oh, wow.
But I figured you could probably add those to your collection.
Yes,
if you
I
don't
could.
have them.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Favorite Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart moment?
Oh, just all the promos when you look back and you found out that shit was real, and the sunny days and all that stuff, pretty much airing out dirty laundry. To me, all that stuff was because it was real. Those are my favorite moments.
Talking about favorite moments and historic moments, you were part of the first pro wrestling match to ever happen in Dodger Stadium soil.
Yes, I am.
How did it feel for you?
Amazing, because as a baseball fan, let alone a diehard Dodger fan, I bleed blue all the time. It was amazing. I thought it wasn't even going to be on the field, but we got to wrestle straight up in center field, and I've never been on the field, let alone as a fan watching baseball, but here I am wrestling at Dodger Stadium.
And you did it with your best friend, Bad Dude Tito,
That's
right?
right. My best friend Tito, my partner in crime. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
5-1, your entrance music. What was Chaos's reaction when you chose one of the Doors' songs to use as your entrance, him being a Doors fan?
Well, him being a Doors fan, when I first started training, that was the song he was coming out to. And then when I had my title match against him, when the Santino Bros vacant title was vacant, obviously, and it was me versus him, I was like, I got to change my song because he was coming out to Rock Superstar again. I had to come out to that one for sure. And I still come out to that one till this day.
Did you ever see the Doors biopic film?
I didn't with, what's his name?
Val Kilmer.
With Val Kilmer? No, I did not. I'm not a diehard Doors fan like that.
Okay.
But, I do appreciate that.
I noticed that in one of your workout videos, you are shoulder pressing with Concord 11s on. Are you a sneakerhead?
I am a sneakerhead occasionally. I got more into it because one of my gym partners, he has every sneaker known to man, every one that comes out back in the day and still till this day. I got into buying Jordans, and it hurts the wallet, so I'm very specific. But Concords like these ones, the Space Jams, I got the low top, I got the Gammas too, that just came out. I just haven't worn them. You got to wear them out specifically. You can't just bring them out, make them your gym shoes, But specifically only because they're like $200 a pair.
One thing you are a fan of, and it's no secret to the audience, you are a Seinfeld fan.
Seinfeld, love Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, all that.
Favorite Seinfeld episode?
Yada, 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 for sure. The Summer of George, the Soup Nazi. But one that I always could go watch over and over, and if I were to show somebody, it's always the yada, yada.
What made Seinfeld so iconic?
Well, I didn't appreciate it growing up. I thought it was boring. It was on UPN or whatever like that. And then eventually I just gave it a shot. And then you just realize how humorous it is, how great it is, how, smart humor, smart comedy. And then you just appreciate it now. And you could only imagine how, when it first came out, how crazy it was. It's like Friends, better than Friends, better than The Office. Top show of all time.
Who do you think used Good Riddance by Green Day song at the end better, Seinfeld or Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, Seinfeld for sure. Because I think it wasn't the end, but I think it was like highlighting
Exactly.
like some of the episodes, like the 100 episodes, for sure. Only because that song was big during that time, and like Deadpool, they could have done another song.
Top 5 films of all time.
Oh, for sure, Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, Casino, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and then one that I could always go back, The Departed, for sure. That's just off the top of my head. I know those always fluctuate, but Pulp Fiction is always going to be on there.
Huge Tarantino fan, are you not?
Huge Tarantino fan.
Now, are you ready for the final film?
I am ready for the final film.
Nice. The Che Cabrera biopic has been greenlit. You have creative control. Who's directing your film?
Oh, damn. Who's the dude who directed The Wrestler?
Darren Aronofsky.
Yes, him for sure, because he knows what goes on in this world. And then let's say main actor who to play me. Let's say who's that guy who played Frankenstein?
And the new one?
The new one.
I'm so sorry, I cannot name the actor.
He's from what is that show with Zendaya? He's on that show, Euphoria. Either him or Oscar Isaac, just because he's Guatemalan as well.
Perfect.
And why not Pedro Pascal too, maybe?
I see that actually happening. I had actually Pedro Pascal noted for my person to portray Eddie Guerrero in a biopic.
Yes, I saw that.
Nice. Opening title sequence song.
Oof. That's tough. I'd say 5-1, the original by The Doors.
Title of the Che Cabrera biopic.
Latino meat, the meat you can't beat.
Or the era of Cabrera.
The era of Cabrera. That is another one.
That's good. That's
That is good.
How does it end?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
I jump off and it goes blank, just like The Wrestler.
Nice.
And we don't know.
Che Cabrera, thank you so much for being here on the Cutting Room Podcast. It has been a pleasure. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, and I appreciate you for everything you do to pro wrestling. And remember, where pro wrestling is cinematic, this is the Cutting Room Podcast, and that's a cut.